Hello and welcome to HEX the Kryptosparbuch show. Today we have a really interesting setting for you. We will talk to Kalen, we will talk to Motley the investor, he's here for an interview, and of course we will talk about our tour as well. So how's it going, Patrick?
Hello also from my side. Hello everybody out there. Hope everybody is doing fine, enjoying the HEX price pump which is going on currently. We already arrived here in Orlando in Florida. Nice weather here already. No more winter jackets. We can store them in our luggages. So what are we going to talk about today?
So first we want to show the people some more impressions of Atlanta and of course of Washington. So let's start a little slideshow here. Mello will just bring up the slides, the screen share, so everybody can see what we are seeing here. So this was the hockey game in Washington. This is how we start our slideshow. But somehow, let me try it again. The slideshow was showing one picture. Might be a little boring for the people. So this is how we start off now.
I don't think that's working.
It should be working by now.
No, the people only see like all the pictures. Man.
Oh, damn it. I thought
slideshow only works on your PC locally.
Just on my computer. I thought it would be so cool to have the slideshow going on while we are talking.
No, the reason why it's not working is because you didn't share your entire... You only shared like... Now we're getting there.
Let's go like this without the slideshow. I will just continue like that. So this was at the hockey game in Washington, right? The Capitals played against the Anaheim Ducks, and at the end the Anaheim Ducks even won the game. So this was the Washington Capitals won the game, right? So this was my mistake, sorry. What happened then? We had an awesome game with the guys. Cabana came, Freddy Quotes was there as well. We got a suit for everybody, and we just enjoyed the game.
Yeah, I wasn't actually at this game. I was feeling not well at this night, so I missed that. But looks like you had a great time there, and of course I also met with Freddy Quotes after it. But I still missed to meet Cabana in person, so I hope that's going to happen soon.
And then, of course, T-Money was there also. And we used the time to just socialize, of course, but also worked. A lot of plans were made, and those connections that we made on those events are really...
Go one picture back. So for everybody who doesn't know this man, this is Cabana Crypto. You should also check out his channel, Cabana Crypto. Give him a follow as well. Show some love, cross-promotion is what we are all about.
Great guy, yeah. It was so much fun hanging out with him. So this is a couple of pictures from the hockey game here. And now it should go on, I guess. Oh man, Kaylin had a lot of fun with her Anaheim t-shirt.
Always like at sports events. Kaylin always gets enthusiastic like that.
That was a nice picture too. And of course, everywhere we go, we chill HEX as much as possible with our stickers, with our business cards.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, Kareem here. Just a little photo shoot with our photographer. Really photogenic, this guy.
So every OG who joins the 5555 tour is a few days with us, has also the possibility to get some nice thumbnails for his next streams. But
I'm always pushing the OGs into this direction anyways. Like I'm telling our photographer here, Kareem is here, take pictures with him. I already know that Kareem will post them out, and then we do not have any work to do, and the marketing machine is just going and going.
That's true.
I like that. So what you see here, this is the social hour from our workshop. I think this was in Washington as well. And there we didn't live stream the workshops yet, but we did on the...
in Atlanta we
did on the next one, yep. And I want to show this live stream later on to the guys here watching the live stream today as well, because it was really fun to make that live stream. It showed really how we structure our workshop, what kind of people are coming, what they are talking about, and we did a couple of interviews. So later on I will post the link into the chat as well. And of course the people love the cars, love to see the cars and take pictures with them. So this is what we always do.
Yeah, the cars are always like a little magnet as well. Everybody loves the HEX car, our R8 supercar.
And I'm so excited for Pulse. I mean, Pulse is not even out, and we have the Pulse car already. At the HEX launch, we didn't have cars driving around with a total wrap, right?
No, it needed like a few months. The first wrapped HEX cars, what I remember, were some taxis driving around London. That was like during the launch phase last summer.
Here we have T-Money. He always does his introductions so well, and he takes with him a $1 note and explain how fiat money is pretty much sick and damaged, and we need a new system. This new system is cryptocurrency, and then we start the workshop. It's really, really great when T-Money introduces us this way.
First time he put it out, I thought now he will put out a lighter in order to make a get the point across, you know.
Yeah, and here we had a lot of fun as well. Like in Atlanta, it was, I think, right? No, in Washington.
This is Washington here. This is the Airbnb from Washington.
We try to always take some people home after the workshop or after the meetup, and this you see here right now. This guy came really, really late, showed us what he was doing for the HEX community, and it was really, really interesting. We're even able to interview him later on. And this is, I think, now the first picture from Washington, from our photo shoot day, content creation day.
Yeah, that's the photo shoot day. That was one day after. Here is Nardo, Team Win. Yeah, here it first was at the university, and then we drove over to the White House. Here you see the White House in the background, and then we walked our way through the area there.
So the next time I probably have to get some more clothes when we do a photo shoot, so it's not all the same. Yeah, here in the memorial. Man, those are great pictures. If you want to see all of those pictures, just follow us on Instagram, Kryptosparbuch, HEX, and also hex.lion, and then you can see all of those great pictures. Every day, I think we have a new feed with pictures coming out from those two channels. Yeah, who do you see here? It is actually Mello, or also known as Mars. He loved to do the photo shooting with Pascal. Really great pictures.
Some hexy outfit as well.
And this was at our last workshop, I guess, right?
That was Charlotte, my friend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Charlotte. Or did we had the workshop
you know, there was Atlanta as well. Who structured this tour?
Well, yeah, sometimes the photo app in Apple doesn't do a good job with putting everything in a sort.
No, but that is...
in order.
No, that is Atlanta. That was Atlanta
now, right?
Yeah.
And then I think and Maddie was there in Atlanta as well.
Yeah,
was he there?
Yeah, that's why Maddie was there in Atlanta. He did the introduction, remember?
No, it has been too many workshops, so I cannot remember them all.
Kareem made the staker app part of our workshop.
Great picture as well here with the group.
Yeah, that is the house from Atlanta, from our Airbnb, with the cars, having some fun.
So I think we are now done with showing all the pictures.
Yeah, let's give the community some new information, huh?
Let's see who is in the chat. Let's say hello to the chat. We have Race, we have David Morales, Nado for the win, Funding Jim, Spike is here as well. Ashaya, thank you guys for being here. I will use this moment to remind you to click like and subscribe and also hit the bell. So Patrick, you want to go on with the news that we have directly from Richard Hart, right? So I will share screen one other tab that I have open here. And then you just jump into that. So it was a couple of hours ago when Richard said Pulse Chain testnet revealed a little bug which was being resolved. We caught some issues with our peer-to-peer discovery along the way. The result is a far more resilient work and tighter block times in the face of validator being offline or unresponsive. So this is what the testnet is for. You test your stuff, you find bugs, and then you make it more resilient. I think this was a really interesting information that we could give to the community.
Yeah, as we always told, the longer Pulse Chain takes, the better it will be. And that time right now is exactly for this testing, that we find all the bugs that we can, because you don't want to find them after mainnet release, you want to find them now.
And then before we jump into our discussion with Kaylan, A couple of weeks ago, we made a video where we revealed our budget. We showed the community what money we are paying in order to do this tour. Everything is paid. The tour is going amazing, but now we want to double the tour, bring more people, have bigger venues and bigger marketing, right? But in order to do so, we need help from the community. So we gave out our donation, our address, the onboarding address, which you can see right here on Etherscan. To the people, yeah. So let's see what happened here the last. What you can see here when I click
wait a second. It's not changed.
Not changed yet?
Yeah, just a second.
Oh, I guess it did not change because I have to share another screen here.
Yeah, a different window.
There we go. So yeah, good that you said that. So the people can now see our Ethereum address, right? Yes. The onboarding address. Always check the last 4 digits, A905. And what we see here, somebody sent 2,000 USDC directly from Coinbase about 8 hours ago. So thank you so much for that. It will go directly into promoting Hex, and it will double.
And if you go to transactions, there was another donation of Ethereum.
Another donation of Ethereum.
Yeah, you need to scroll down a little bit, I guess. Somewhere. No, is there no?
Well, this is not. You mean internal transactions?
No, I saw like 0.1 Ethereum get in the wallet as well.
How many days ago?
2 weeks, maybe.
2 weeks. So this should be here somewhere. It's all out.
Okay.
So it's just here in ERC20 tokens. We see $2,000. Thank you so much from whoever it was. It was an anonymous donation, but we will definitely use that for doubling the tour. And then, yeah, maybe something else before we kick off the talk about what kind of plans we have for Miami, right? Mm-hmm. So one more thing that I want to chill to the community is our link tree here. Oh, what happened now? Give me 1 second. So take out your cell phone right now when you are on the computer, and this is what you want to scan right now. This QR code here will bring you directly to our link tree. Maybe we can open that too, so the people know what to expect when they QR code scan that. So here we have the browser. Isn't that a beautiful site? Like when you open that up here, you find our YouTube
Not
video about the documentary trailer. If you scroll down, you find all the information about Freedom TV, our schedule there, and all the links that you need in order to follow us, to follow the tour, and also to find the donation address. Should be here somewhere. So there we go. There's a segment for donations. The address is not in there, but will be for sure. We just opened up this link tree a couple of days ago. All right, so I'm done with the stuff that I have prepared for the stream. So we can now take down the screen share. And let us bring Kaylin here so we can start talking about Miami and what else is going on, right?
Yeah, so Kaylin or on Telegram at Let's Talk About Hex. Welcome to the stream. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, Patrick. Hi, Abit.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. Ready to talk about Miami?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do it. So today was for me a whole day of planning. I booked all the Airbnbs for Florida actually, and right now we are in Orlando. The next stop is Miami already. When will we arrive in Miami? I think it's 21st, right?
You guys are going to be in Miami a long time.
Yeah,
about
for 2 weeks exactly.
Yeah.
So why is Miami so special? Why did we dedicate 2 full weeks to Miami, and what else is going on? We have a meetup, we have workshops, we have a birthday going on, and a lot more things, right? An OG roundtable we want to throw in, but let's go in order. So what is the first thing that you have planned for Miami?
Well, of course it's Christmas, so I'm going to go home and see my family, leave you guys alone. But since you guys are going to be in that nice, beautiful house for Christmas, you're going to stream, right?
Oh, yeah. Christmas stream, right?
Yeah.
Kryptosparbuch Christmas stream for all the Hexicans out there who maybe also not have the chance to be with their families. So we will make a nice Kryptosparbuch live stream on the 24th for you.
Well, this is our thing, though. You do not have to do anything for the Christmas, of course. But what is the next thing, the next event that we can now chill to the Hexican community?
So it's going to be our workshop in Miami at Titanic Brewery. That's being hosted by our good friend David Morales. He has really helped us out with all the planning for that. We have a workshop flyer that's on Telegram. I mean, I'm guessing Abid is sharing that.
Yeah, I'm trying to share it at least. So
Yeah.
here we have Miami, the workshop. On what day is it? December 29th.
Right. At Titanic Brewery. So we're going to give out free hex, free merch, all that good stuff. Just like all of our workshops, we have a great social hour. You can order food. You can hang out the whole day if you want to. Miami's going to be great. Workshop.
All right. So what I just see here, we are still in the screen share mode. You guys see also in the US road trip chat our 2 live streams that we did for the Hex birthday, for example, but also for the social hour. Since we are here, I just wanted to show that really quick. So those 3 days, the 29th of December, there it will pretty much start with power every day. What is on the next day, the 30th?
Okay, so on the 30th, that's the day that we want all the OGs to come out. We have rented a yacht. It's going to pull straight up to the house, pick up the guys or ladies, whoever OGs want to come and be a part of that. Sail around the waters there, and then come back to the house for a private dinner with a chef that will prepare the meal at the house.
All right, private dinner. I haven't heard of that yet, so this is really, really exciting.
Surprise, surprise, David.
There's always something a little extra in store.
You know, guys, it's like because David is not that much into food.
Right.
I'm more into food, so
Yeah.
that's why I take care of that stuff.
Yeah, I
And
go
surprise
to Patrick
David.
for the food, and I go to Alan for the merch.
Well, for
Yeah,
all
all the design
all the
decisions.
design
That's
decisions.
all.
so all
on
the
David.
design decisions are on me. Airbnb I do too as well. But where do you go when you want to talk about money?
I go to Patrick.
Exactly. So you see, we have all our things to do really good distributed between Patrick and I. So
Yeah.
it works out really, really good. So we
Yeah.
talked already about the 29th, which is the workshop, the 30th, which is the OG roundtable.
Right. We're going to film that. We're going to have a nice hex discussion, similar to what we did in New York with the round table, but a little different because it's Miami, right? So we got to do it Miami style.
So maybe we can reveal a couple of things already. Have you been able to secure things already, or is it still in planning mode?
Nope, everything is secure. We only have, because of the requirements in Miami, as far as how many people can get on the yacht, we only have maybe like 2 spots left for OG. So if you think you want to participate in that, I would message me ASAP so that we can get you on board for that. But next day, even if you miss out on that, you can still come and celebrate with us because we have a very special birthday.
Exactly. This would be the next day, the 31st.
A very special birthday?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you know, we go from 2021 to 2022. No, I'm just kidding. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday. Always forget that because everybody is celebrating New Year's.
Yeah, not this time. This time we're having a birthday party.
Okay.
It just happens to be on New Year's Eve.
And we even have a flyer for the birthday party. So let me try to screen share that so the people can see what awesome flyer we have here.
Yeah, you would need to try this entire screen and then let's...
Yeah, we do it this way now. So do the people see that already?
I do not know.
There we go. Well, it would be so much easier if everybody would just go to the Telegram chat of the US road trip tour, right? And then they would see the flyer like this or the other flyer for the workshop. So what do we see here? New Year's birthday party of the Hex line. It is December 31st. And when does it start? It says 9 p.m., right?
9 p.m. We have a DJ. We have a champagne toast, open bar, a pool if you want to go swimming. You know, I don't know how cold it's going to be because it is at night, but it's there if that's what you like.
And the address says it is a private residency. It's just in our Airbnb, right? So we got a big villa for 2 weeks in Miami, and the birthday party will just be in that villa as well.
Yeah, so if you want that information, then message one of us directly on Telegram or maybe a private message on Twitter. You can register, you can RSVP on freedomtv.info, If you do RSVP on freedomtv.info, you will receive a email invitation.
Yes. So I see Franklin Saint Hex is in the chat as well. Hex token, graphene, Hex softball. Thanks guys for participating here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So what else do we have to talk about? Then after the 31st, the day will be really, really long on that day. I guess we party. And then Patrick, I think this is your topic. You know a little bit more about that. What happens on the 1st?
I don't
January.
know much about what happens on the 1st. I'm concentrating on my birthday party, and then I might sleep a little while, you know.
Okay, so we do not want to disclose that too much yet, I guess.
Well, I do know that we're going to a concert, so for us, things never slow down. We're going to the Lettuce Festival on January 1st.
Nice.
Yeah, we got a couple private tables there, too. So we got big plans to take over Miami. I think that if you have no plans, you should come on down and hang out with us for New Year's.
I was just about to say.
Just go ahead and DM us. You know how to find us.
Well, the easiest way to do that is go to the link tree that I just shared in the beginning of the live stream here. There you find all our links, all our contact informations. But Kaylin, what should people do if they would like to hang out with us in Miami, the 2 weeks maybe, on workshops, meetups, and also on those 3 crazy days later on?
Yeah, definitely go to freedomtv.info. You can RSVP for everything there. If you are friends with any of us on Telegram or Twitter, you can also send us a direct message there. We're pretty good at replying. And that's pretty much it. Anybody who wants to come, we want you to be there. So
you said it good. Everybody who wants to come can be there. It's for free. Everything the Kryptosparbuch doing is for free. And you just have to bring some time and have fun. That's pretty much it.
And now let's change topics a bit, huh, Ellen? We still have like a special guest here with us today.
Right, I was going to say, what better way to transition is to have one of your guests.
Exactly.
Come on in.
So we often talk about how to double a tour, and this is how we double a tour. We bring OGs like Motley Investor here, for example. Hi Motley, how is it going?
Yeah.
Here,
so
this mic is for
thanks,
you.
Kaylin, for really revealing everything. Thanks for being with us on the tour and do so much work into our planning. So thanks for that. And now, hello Motley, how are you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, Patrick?
All
Cheers.
good.
Happy
Cheers.
early birthday.
That's why I want to bring you on now, that we can
Cheers.
finally cheer. You were drinking, David?
I was
Without saying cheers to me? Without saying cheers to me.
Cheers, boys.
So Motley, what brought you here to Orlando? What brought you to our tour?
You guys. You guys. I love what you guys are doing here. Outboard messaging and onboarding people is what it's all about, right? Like this is what we do 24/7. Most of us are retired. This is what we do. This is our new jobs, our passion, what we love to do. So before I even hopped on with you guys, I was on Cabana's stream, and he had a new guy that was looking into Hex, looking into crypto, relatively new to crypto, and the whole stream was about just onboarding them, right? And like you guys are doing the same thing, but on scale. And it's the same thing with that. Someone will see that show, and then they'll learn about Hex and Pulse Chain, and they'll get out of the rat race that we're currently in. That with inflation, taxes, everything that's going out, it's hard to get ahead anymore, and you need an asset class like crypto. And then if you're going to get into crypto, why not get into the premier asset that is Hex?
Hex at 10,000x. Like, why don't you want to grab some of that, right?
Right. Well, it's on discount right now. You can get less than 10,000x right now.
Is it on discount again?
I bought some today.
Oh my
Not
God.
exactly where I wanted it to be, but I FOMO'd in because some of your crew bought some this morning. I was like, well, shoot, I don't want to be left behind, so I bought some as well.
Yeah,
The FOMO of the 5555 to have worked for Motley.
Exactly.
The guys in our crews, they are always buying Hex, like so often. It's awesome to see.
They would like to even buy it more often, but there is also a certain amount of money.
Yeah, you got to pay the bills, unfortunately, still, and most places do not take crypto, so
and
bare minimum.
And Motley, maybe we can tell the audience a little bit more about what you're gonna do here with us. I just asked Motley yesterday, where do you sleep? And Motley, maybe you can give an answer to that.
It's here. It's at y'all's Airbnb. Thank you.
Motley is sleeping on our couch now. Of course, he got
they gave me a bed, guys. They gave me a bed.
They got their own. He got his own room. But we love to do those with the OGs. They are coming to our US road trip, right? And we invite them into our Airbnb. Everybody gets an apartment, like a room by themselves, of course. Nardo, Kareem, you, of course. Who else did we have? Maddie was on tour with us as well. So the OGs are coming. I'm loving it.
It's fun. It's fun.
Hex
man.
Ninja is coming back in Miami as well. On the
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I love hanging out with you guys. It's been about time that I get to do it in person. Like, we've been streaming and known each other for 2+ years, 3 years. Oh, excuse me. This professional setup, I'm not used to it. But it's nice. Actually, it's always about the human interaction, and it's one thing to stream and do this over like being online, Zoom, StreamYard, you name it. But in person, it's just different. It just hits different.
Yeah, it's just different. And did you also thought about that we will talk the whole day about Pulse Chain and Hex and Uniswap?
I'm looking forward to it. That's why I was telling you guys, like, use and abuse me. If you need help with the workshop, I got you guys. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for it.
Perfect.
So, Motley, maybe we do what we do with everybody when they come and we have an interview with them. So we basically asked 3 questions. Maybe we can do this little interview with you as well, just to kick it off.
Okay.
So when did you find your way into crypto in general?
In crypto? So that was back in like mid 2016. I've always kind of been in the search of passive income, and I've done real estate, stocks, precious metals, you name it. I've always been looking into different asset classes to get ahead. And my primary focus at the time was real estate, and pretty good source of passive income, but you still deal with tenants, you still deal with stuff breaking, you're going to have reoccurring fees. So it's not a standalone real passive income. And then I knew about Bitcoin a little bit, but I wasn't really involved in it. And I heard that you could actually mine this stuff. You could build a mining rig, and you essentially could print these coins out of thin air and then sell them for what I thought at the time was real money, US dollars. That's my concept of money has changed and shifted over the time. But to me, I was just like, wow, that sounds like an amazing source of passive income. Little did I know, it's better to just usually buy the asset and hold on to it, as opposed to buying the mining hardware, mining it. Oh, sorry guys. I'm going to get this mic thing down eventually. But yeah, long story short, got into mining, did Ethereum, mined some other coins that were in the area. And 2017 came around, I was chasing pumps, getting into a bunch of altcoins that were just empty promises, not completed products. And I decided, I put everything into Ethereum, Bitcoin, left crypto be for a while. And it wasn't until, I don't remember the interview, but it was Doug Polk. He's a poker player, and he did an interview with Richard Hart. And I was like, wow, this guy's very intelligent. I liked poker at the time. He made some very good arguments against poker. And so I started following him. At first, he was looking at CFD token, which it made sense. I was going to invest in it because the guy is smart. But at the same time, it didn't really click. But HEX, when he came up with HEX and just monetizing time, that's when it clicked. And that's when I knew I was going to go all in. And between the brilliant founder and the perfect product, it was a no-brainer to me.
Nice. So this brings us to the second question. Did you FOMO in day one?
Yep. 8 Ethereum.
All right. So
8 Ethereum. But I DCA'd after that. I DCA'd after that.
So I knew exactly you would say that you would FOMO in day one. This is why I asked that. But let me ask you about your dollar cost average strategy. Then after you FOMOed, the FOMO was gone. What did you do? How did you dollar cost average into HEX?
Yeah. So after the FOMO day, and it was just kind of hard not to, right? Like Richard told us not to FOMO. He told us day before we even launched, he was just like, do not FOMO. It was a billion coins as opposed to 500 million coins, but it just wasn't enough because the project had already been delayed, or the product had been delayed for a year at that point just to get it right. So all of us were just ready to get started. And for me, I kept buying in Ethereum. It just wasn't enough because I wanted to start my staking ladder that day. So that's why I FOMO'd on day one. But after that, I realized my mistake as I saw it going down day after day. I was like, oh, okay, Richard's right. Go figure. And I needed DCA. So every day it was at 00 UTC time. It was my ritual. I would get 1 to 2 Ethereum, depending on how much Ethereum was in the pool already. I would decide my entry point for that night, make my enter the lobby, get my HEX, close my laptop, and then restart it all again the next day. I was the machine for the next like 30, 40 days of DCAing over the AA lobby. And then I came back in a couple months later, and they've just been making buys ever since. Hopefully during the dips, sometimes during the peaks, but
yeah, of course, you always try to get the dips, but it's so hard to catch the dips in HEX because the price is just going up and up and up.
No, they are pretty short living
Very
dips.
short. Yeah, because we've gone through. It seems like in Hex we've gone through multiple cycles in such a short period of time.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, like
seven times, 70%.
I think we might even be in 8 now. Like we're just our own little ecosystem, and just like we don't follow the market, and we've had our big corrections and our crazy run-ups following after. So
yeah, because like even a few days ago, crypto in general dipped like 10%. The general crypto
we're
market.
up 20.
Yeah, we were up, and now we have a little correction after 100% increase in like a week.
Yeah, crazy, absolutely.
So
all good on the way up.
You were also one of the first Hex streamers on YouTube, right? You were present on a lot of other streams, but where was your home base? Where did you stream the most?
So, I mean, for me, I started with a Discord Syndicate. So that was like, it was the effing hangout. I mean, I had the stuff, I had all the camera equipment early on, but I just didn't have the balls. I didn't have the passion to go out there and actually do it. I've always wanted to do it, but I wasn't passionate enough about to do it. I tried to do it with real estate a little bit. It just didn't quite click. But with Hex and then Discord Syndicate, they gave me that extra step, the effing hangout, come on, talk, the old crusty captain and all the OGs. And it was just a good time. We'd go hang out. We'd have a fun time. We talk about what we love, Hex. And now we have Pulse Chain. Now we have Pulse X. We have all these different products coming out. But that's where I got my start. That's where I got my courage to go out there, start my own channel. And I mean, honestly, I do it for selfish reasons too, because I just enjoy this. Like this is like, I just enjoy hanging out and streaming with like you guys and other OGs. Like this is my second family now. This is just my new group of friends that I have all around the world, here in the US, Germany, UK, Australia, Asia, you name it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the question comes in my mind when you say that you were also at the meetup in London. What are your impressions from
Amazing. It was amazing. The main event was great. I know it got some backlash because of the streaming and how it looked, but if you were there, it was just a whole nother experience. I mean, it was nonstop, just talking to Hexicans that I knew maybe through just an avatar or a handle online on Twitter or Telegram. But it was just conversation after conversation of very like-minded, amazing individuals, and you can't put a price tag on it. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. We were there for like 2 to 3 hours. It went by in a blur. I had like a VIP ticket to go back and talk to Richard. I didn't go back and talk to Richard. I didn't realize there were speeches were going on because I was so engrossed in the conversations just with the Hexicans. It was a blast. And then after that, Cy from Hex Toys and Big K, they put on an event at Fabric. So we all got on these double-decker London buses, and we went and partied at the club. Richard came out there, and we had a good time. Got to talk to Richard, and he's just as real in person as he is on his streams. And I mean, that's what drew me to him in the first place, is because there's no bullshit, there's no filter. He tells you the facts up front, and if you don't like him, it's fine, but he's not gonna sugarcoat it for you. And that's what made me follow him in the beginning. It was his intelligence and the fact that he would tell you the hard truths.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for
hard
sharing
truths.
that.
That's like a nice.
Yeah, with Richard, code is law, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
With Richard, code is law, right?
Yeah, code is law.
So to finish up with our third question that we always ask our interview partners, well, I guess you had the same experience with Hex just like we did. You had to learn a lot at the beginning, and I guess it took you a long time to understand what you were holding then, right? So what is your most favorite part of the Hex game theory?
I mean, so from the beginning, to a degree, I knew what I was holding, right? Like to me, there was never a doubt in my mind that we would go to number one. Like to me, it was a better store value of Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin, except you earn yield by holding, right? And we know holding in crypto, if you have the right asset, that's how you become wealthy. That's how you become generationally wealthy. So for me, there's no question in my mind that I had the right asset and where we were going. It was just learning more about the product as time went on, because all of us had to learn about, really, it's just T-shares. T-shares are that golden goose. It's something, unique ideas in this world are so hard to come by. Most people have thought of most traditional ideas. To come up with a truly unique idea, something that emulated compounding interest, but essentially negated it at the same time. And it's amazing. They're deflationary. There'll be less T-shares. You eventually just won't be able to afford T-shares. Even OGs eventually will not be able to afford a T-share. And it took the community about 3 to 6 months to even fully understand it or put our minds around it. And then a lot of us restructured our entire staking ladder because of that knowledge. We realized like, oh crap, even Richard learned, because I remember initially my staking ladder is still a little messed up with this, because Richard's like, I don't know why anyone would stake Cuatro Cinco, essentially 5,555 days, because at 10 years, that's all the bonus shares you're going to get. There's no reason to go out further. And then,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then it was like Kyle it was. Yeah, Kyle.
He's like, hold up, Richard. Like, that's not necessarily true because you're getting those T-shares today at such a cheaper rate that you're going to get 10, 15 years down the road.
And I mean, like, our basic model just shows that 10-year stake compared to a 5555, which is about 15.2 years. In those 5.2 years, you make the even more interest than in the first 10 years.
Yeah.
So only by like staking 50% of more time, you're doubling your bagging.
I mean, it's simple, right? If someone gives you a money printer and you can buy it today cheaper and you can hold it for an additional 5 years, why would you not do that? Why would you not buy that money printer cheaper now and hold it for that additional 5 years? I mean, it was no brainer. So initially my staking ladder, like, I listened to Richard, I listened to the big man, and then turns out, you know, he was wrong. He was human, and like, he learned about his own system that he created as well. And like, we had amazing community members like Dev Kyle that helped align us with T-shares, and a lot of us restructured our staking ladder. You, Patrick, actually helped me with my staking ladder. I was talking to Abed about it, but I can't remember what stream it was, but I remember you came on. It was the first time I saw you.
Yeah, well, it was really early. I guess it was in April or something like that.
I was just like, okay, some random German guy comes on. He started talking about his descending principal staking ladder, where you could reduce your principal but still get the same yield, if not a higher yield, by staking out longer. So I modeled that for a while, but then I also realized later on, I was like, maybe I want some of those Quattro Cinco stakes too. So I boosted a little bit, but yeah, you helped me restructure my staking ladder one of the first times. So.
My pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Because I was done at the time already with mine. So like in the beginning of 2020, the only thing in the first quarter I did was like figuring out like how I should stake now.
Right.
And then Patrick, before you said that to the community, a lot of people were actually doing that, emergency and staking, right?
That was even later, but yes, before the big beta, there was like a strategy for all the community members who just staked like shorter term and then just realized what they have there to emergency and stake. So if there were like really long stakes, nobody did that because then you nuke your stake. Yeah. But for like a 1.5 or a 2 year stake, before the big beta, you could have emergency and stake that because it was already at 50% or more. Still keep a little bit of your interest, and by restaking it out longer, you just had so much more big beta bonus that this was like a good deal. Right now, I would suggest take your time. Just think about your staking ladder and then execute it where you never need to emergency and stake.
Well, the beautiful thing is at the time, all the information wasn't out there, right? Like David was saying, the community was still learning about what HEX is and how it operates. So we didn't know, and it turns out that emergency and stake function ended up being a tool the community was able to use to revamp their ladders. And again, there was another part where Richard learned about the system. He never intended the emergency and stake feature to be a tool, but early on, when all of us were still figuring out the system, it ended up being just that. And a lot of us were able to increase our T-share count a lot more than what we would have if we didn't have that feature.
Yeah. I remember that too, where Richard said that he would never thought that people would emergency and stake to take a hit, but then to stake out longer and not selling. And why do people do that?
That was like a kind of a movement, right? No? Like in October or something. September, October.
Like just like, guys, more T-shares. You want more of these.
Now you do not advise to emergency and stake anymore. It's better to plan out your staking later upfront.
So for both sides, even like
the thing,
for the OG guys, but for the just that you
for
know
the
numbers, just that you know the
Oh.
numbers, because for the OG guys, they will lose their entire big payday bonus.
Well, we can talk about that. So, yeah, I mean, with the way the equation works, if you have the big payday bonus included, you can nuke a majority of your stack, or very much nearly all your stake if you're not careful. So,
but for new people still, if you are not an OG, if you came in after big payday and you made a stake for 1 year, 50% is already done. Now you learned about the T-shares, you can emergency and stake. So it's still interesting for people to use that tool to get more T-shares. Just make sure to not nuke yourself, and maybe you can play around with that as well. People are still doing that.
But still, then I would suggest wait the other 6 months, just end stake it, and then you restake for longer, because now you don't have this incentive of the big payday bonus anymore, and that was just such a big incentive that the hit was minor.
So I think this is the emergency end staking function here. Maybe we go on with another topic that people love as well: staking strategies. Motley, I bet you have a staking strategy already. You have a staking ladder and so on. So, what do you advise new people how to make a staking strategy? Maybe set up the first stake. What do you advise them
Let's
on
not
the
say
first
like
stake?
how do you advise. Let's say like what would be your idea?
What would be your idea? Yeah.
So I mean, so this is the unique thing, right, with onboarding and people when they come into Hex. It's like it's unique to them, and you can cater Hex to what's pertinent to you. So at the end of the day, you need to know who you're onboarding. You need to know what their goals are, what they're trying to accomplish. I mean, for me, it was financial freedom, generational wealth. So, and I was very fortunate to be early on and structure an amazing staking ladder from 1 year to 15 years. But for me, when I onboard them, I just really try to express the importance of T-shares, gradually get them into it so they really understand what they hold. If you teach them well with what they hold, they want to stake long. And Kareem gave me the inspiration to usually start them with a long stake. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but a Quattro Cinco stake really can be life-changing. One stake could literally, for a couple $100s, 15 years down the road, could be someone's retirement plan. So I was like, why not, if you have such a brilliant product, why not throw that Hail Mary out there that could literally retire you and your family? So I like them starting long and then working their way back. But again, it's just, it's a preference thing. You gotta get the individuals, make sure, see what their mindset is, see what they want to accomplish. But at the end of the day, it's on you as the onboarder to let them know what they have and express to them how important it is when longer pays better, because that really is the name of the game. It's delaying gratification.
Today I made a tweet. Most people, or actually everybody who is in crypto, is only in crypto because of mad gains, right? And the T-share price is only going up. So Patrick, what would you say? What is your idea? What should people do for their first stake and why?
I'm totally leaning towards Motley here. Like the first stake should be their first 5555, where they just think how much money do I don't need to worry about and can just sit there, you know.
Yep.
First of all, bring your security straight, never share any stuff of your private key, generate this private key offline if possible, and then just put it in your safe or wherever you put like your stuff which you didn't lose the last
And forget about it.
decades.
Just
Forget it and just let it be.
work.
Start with the longest one, you know, with the amount of money you can still sleep well in the night, and then work your way backwards from there. And then, for example, just put another one at the 10-year mark, another one at the 5-year mark, and then after 5 years you can already go ahead. You accrued already a lot of interest. Just take this interest and the principal. You never sell your principal. You use that to put it at the end of your ladder always when a stakes comes out, and that's called a perpetual passive income staking ladder.
So the reason why I mentioned the T-share price only going up, this is the reason why I always say to the people, guys, you want to do your 15-year stake first, because now today is the best day to stake. Tomorrow the T-share price is already up and your second stake will have less T-shares. So my idea is to do the 15-year stake first and then accumulate Hex again, do the next stake, maybe 14 years, 13 years, and then work yourself backwards, just like you said.
Yeah, I did something crazy back then. So I accumulated my hex back, and then I made like, because it was before we even had the calendar function at go.hex.com.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
So I created a Excel sheet, you know, where I wrote down just the numbers in order to be like at those dates where I wanted to be, and then executed all the stakes in one day, and without a staker app where you can like do multiple stakes in just one go. No, every stake by stake.
It would kill my OCD, because remember Hex Live back in the day that Steph initially made? It was such a beautiful site. And you go there and you look at your staking ladder, and it would be off just by a little bit because we didn't have the calendar function. You didn't account for the turnover day.
So the beautiness of
it would just be off by a little bit, and it would drive me insane. I was just like, well, that's ruined for the next 15 years. But
I have that as well.
I was like, I'm just gonna have to not look at this as much.
Okay, guys, you already have your staking ladder already set up. You use the whole timeline from 1 day to 15 years. So does that mean you will never do a stake again? Motley, what kind of stakes do you do nowadays?
Yeah, so with me, someone who has their ladder established, I mean, I recommend that you just roll them over, right? The end of the game for me, at least personally, is I want to be able to not only live off just interest, but I want to live off just a fraction of my interest. So if I only need to live off a fraction of my interest, why not roll it back to the end of my ladder? So imagine 15 years out when I'm just getting nothing but Quattro Cinco stakes coming out on the regular. Like that's it's not only is it life-changing money, it's world-changing money. Like, you can do so much good in this world with some of the OG stakes that are going to be coming out 15 years. Or if you're getting in today and you're getting to the 15-year mark, those stakes are going to generate you so much money. You can really change the world, not just your life, your family's life, but the world's.
Do you think you will start crying then every time a stake comes out? Because then at that point of time, you know you cannot get more T-shirts than before.
B shares and M shares. It's just like, oh, those T-shirts are gone. Those T-shirts are gone. Yeah, it's got to be a bittersweet pill. But I mean, at the end of the day, that you only need so much money in this world. So then you just have to switch gears. And like Richard said, once you satisfy everyone's needs, it's all about pivoting to stuff that really matters. So longevity. Keeping some of the most brilliant people alive longer is just going to do humanity good. So it's just finding those legacy ambitions and goals in life to put your funds towards, because no one needs 10 Lambos. You don't need 20 mansions. Like, go
Abid already told me he needs 10 Lambos, yeah. Because then he
Abid will give them out to people though.
Yeah,
he'll give Mr. Deeds and he'll give everyone a Ferrari. Yeah.
So he wants to have 10 Lambos, then he wants to rep the 10 Lambos.
We were talking about that today, and if they don't meet their onboarding goal, he's gonna pull them back. It's like, did you onboard 10 people this week? He's like, all right, I'm gonna need the Lambo back. Sorry.
Well, this is the incentive. Yeah, that's a good idea. So you guys, look who we have in chat. Jerry Oaksmith made a really, really nice comment here. He says, Motley, you addressed me in a chat. Your response helped me make pull the trigger, and now I have a beautiful 12-year staking ladder. Awesome. This is amazing. I hope this 12th year is like from the end towards the beginning, and you left out the first 3 years. This would be, in my mind, the perfect strategy.
It's good. I love that. And I mean, this is why we do this, right? Like, it's hearing comments like that, and like whatever, like Patrick says something or Alan says something or I say something that triggers that person to make that leap, right? Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't pull that trigger, if you don't act, actions are what matters. And if you don't go out there and actually purchase this coin and use it the way it was meant to be, then it doesn't do you any good. So when you find out that you were the reason that someone actually made that change in their life, like, that's what matters. That's why we do this.
And this is also one thing why I do the YouTube stuff for myself. For example, I did so many mistakes with Hex. For example, I staked way too short. I staked too little Hex, for example, and I made way too many stakes. Motley, are there mistakes that you made in the past that you now advise to people new to Hex to not make?
Yeah, I mean, I had an old mindset of crypto when I got into Hex. Like, and it's ironic too, right? Because I knew what I held. I knew it was going to be the #1 crypto, but in my mind, I still had the old crypto. I was still scarred from the old crypto world. Like, rug pulls, scams, everything going to zero. And so for me, crypto would die in 1, 2, 3 years. So my initial staking ladder, like, I'm not gonna lie, it was very heavily weighted that 2 to 3 year range. But once I continued to learn more about the product, and I really got the confirmation from the community, and that was another thing, the community just grew, and that was that final piece for me where I just knew success was inevitable. And after that, I mean, I was emergency in staking everything. And I remember right before Big Payday, I had one of my largest stakes. It was gonna be my first stake that was gonna come out, and it was on Big Payday. It was gonna be my treat to myself for holding for essentially the whole year, and it was a day one stake, and man, it hurt because it'd been accumulating interest that whole time. And I was like, no, like, I was like, this has to be emergency in stake. Like, this needs to be divvied out. This needs to go further out. I need more T-shirts from this. And I remember right before Big Payday started, we did our 24-hour stream. I ended that stake, and it hurt so bad. But now I look back on it, and I was just like, it was amazing. I would be so upset if I let that stake run to fruition. I would have lost out on all the T-shares, all that Big Payday bonus. And you just learn as you go. Anyone that's new to the system, that's what they should be doing. They should listen to these streams, listen to OGs, listen to the people that have blazed the trail before you, because it's been a learning process for years. We've done years of work in this now.
Let's talk about what you just said. It hurts that you end a stake. Maybe you can explain a little bit more why that is. And Patrick, why does it hurt when people end their stake?
Because the hex code is designed in a way that nobody can cheat the system. So always when you run the end stake function, you will have a hard time getting back so much T-shares than before. Because even if you want to stake your principal and all your accrued interest for the same amount of time again, you will end up with less shares than before. And only if you increase your time length or increase the amount of hex you want to stake, you will be able to get more T-shares than before.
And eventually, extending your time won't even give you more T-shirts. We'll run into the point where eventually you can max your stake out and you still won't get more T-shirts. You will still have less T-shirts than what you started. So that time is coming to an end very quickly before you know it.
Well, let's talk about that. What is your speculation
I'm sure you have some
on
models
that?
for that, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind
so
of.
I think between the 4 and the 5 year mark.
Definitely, I would agree with that. I think that sounds about right. I haven't crunched the numbers on that, but
maybe even
maybe sooner.
Maybe sooner, but I guess like.
So Patrick, maybe you can explain a little bit more in depth what you were just talking about. How much more time do the people have to increase their T-shares?
That's have to is a strong word in that regard. So
you must.
It's hard to say because for every year of additional staking, you get 20% more effective HEX, which gets then transformed into the shares. And for staking only 1 year, you get 20% of more effective HEX. For staking for 10 years, it's 200% more. So I cannot do the calculation out of my mind.
But this is the great thing, because
but if you end a 2-year stake right now, and restake it for 10 years, you would already need more than just the principal to increase your shares.
More than just the principal.
Crazy.
So also some of your interest. But in this special case, what you made there, it was because of the big payday, right? People after the big payday wouldn't need to have this problem, right? Because they did not get interest from the big payday.
Of course, they have the same problem because the share rate is still only going increasing up, and maybe for the OG stakes it's even earlier than the 4-year mark, because that's maybe why you were saying, well, maybe even earlier,
But
sure.
you
might be right,
there are
like for the
still
OG
some
stakes.
questions open here, and I have a feeling we will implement that in one of our best videos, that there are the power of T-shares. So we will talk about that on the HEX online conference January 6th. You do not want to miss that, because there again we will go balls. No, not balls.
Just say it.
Really deep into the rabbit hole. No, I said it anyways. Here we have a new comment.
The stream beer wasn't the best idea.
From Shiggy.
Sure it was.
Shiggy is saying, hi everyone, just a question for the sacrifice of PulseX. Do they accept only HEX, or do they accept any other token as well?
Don't know.
we don't know yet, but if they accept HEX, they will also accept all the coins running, or not all, but the main coins running on the Ethereum chain, or like at least Ethereum and stable coins as well.
If I had to speculate on it, and again, it's just speculation because we don't know yet. Richard hasn't actually come out with the information, but I imagine Richard's usually pretty efficient, and he's not going to spend more time on creating different sacrifice sets. I think the coins that he created for Pulse Chain sacrifice set, I think he's going to carry those over for the PulseX token. I think it's just going to keep it simple. Same coins that can be sacrificed for Pulse Chain will probably be the same ones that could be sacrificed for PulseX. But if you want to go into game theory and what's probably the ideal move currently, my advice to everyone usually is to buy HEX now. We're in the dip. Get as much as you can. You're going to get a copy of it over on the fork. You can take those gains up. With PulseX, I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be the third premier asset on the chain. I think HEX is going to still be number 1. I think Pulse is going to be number 2. It's going to be the network token. And then I think PulseX is going to be number 3. Just to be honest with everyone, the LP token, you can provide liquidity. You can LP farm for it. I wouldn't invest too much into it, right?
I agree on that.
Keep your HEX, get your copy. I think it'll be more valuable.
Yeah.
You can still sacrifice a little bit for it, but the main thing is waiting for the ecosystem launch. And if you want to get the LP token, you could always provide liquidity in LP farm.
And even going in one step back when it comes like to the tokens accepted, we might see only Ethereum-based tokens, or only like a set of ERC20 tokens, because maybe Richard doesn't want to bring more adoption to like
Cardano
and Dogecoin and what we all also had, and it's pretty complicated to implement like data from those scrap blockchains into a good set. So eventually we only see Ethereum stablecoins and HEX, So, and why not? Those are the majority of the volume what we had in the Pulse Chain sacrifice. So
I remember that comment stood out to me when we were doing the Pulse Chain sacrifice, and Richard made the comment about Cardano, and he's just like, I can't even measure like the balances. Like I can't even display the balances of the tokens that are sacrificed. He's like, this chain is shit. Like, and that's the reason why there's not even smart contracts on Cardano today. It's not to talk trash about ADA, but like, I mean, he couldn't even, his devs couldn't even display the amount of tokens that have been sacrificed for it. He's like, I don't know how they ever thought they were going to build on this. And you see this with a lot of these empty chains. Just no one builds anything on. None of them are even.
And that's why I'm thinking like maybe why bother even with them, you know, because they had a really low volume as well. It's not like that those communities care so much, and everybody can just swap it to a ERC20 token, so it's not a big deal.
The people in chat are already saying it's probably gonna be similar to the post chain sacrifice, and why not, right? Like Motley said, Richard Hart doesn't like waste, and he would probably like that people send their Bitcoin and all the other coins that they have in their portfolio as well in order to sacrifice for Pulse.
Yeah, I hope that will be the Christmas present from Richard for the community, you know, to enlighten us all with all the details when it comes to the Pulse X coin.
No expectations.
Yeah, that we. But what? So, for example, just things what I would like to know is what are the tokenomics of this thing? How much is the total supply? How much will be given out in the sacrifice set? How much is somebody else keeping for the liquidity providing incentive afterwards? How will this work? Like with the how much of the liquidity provider token can different pools earn, you know, per week, per month, per day?
And in my mind, the reason we don't have that information yet is he probably doesn't even know. That would probably be my guess.
Maybe the game.
But then I need to ask the question why he is publicly announcing that we start in the end of the year with the sacrifice.
I think the mainnet's close, and I think he's just, you know, another sacrifice phase. But yeah, I agree. I would like to. Obviously, if you're going to sacrifice for something, you just want to know. You want to know the tokenomics. You want to know more information. I don't like to go in dark on what I'm sacrificing for.
I'm
so again,
sure.
it's going to be less than what I sacrifice for Pulse, and I hold on to a majority of my Hex. That's probably going to be my
I totally agree that when you're saying like that's the third main coin on or
I'm
token
pretty sure
on the chain.
This is no, I just forgot the thought of train. But let me ask you this question here, Motley. Before for the Pulse X sacrifice, you said it would be smart for the people to buy Hex now until it's still cheap. Like, why would that be a good game plan? And then maybe afterwards, Patrick could talk about what happened before the Pulse chain sacrifice and what we advise the people in order to do there.
I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer back in the Pulse chain sacrifice when Richard announced it initially, and there was a pretty severe delay. It was a no-brainer. Like I dumped all the stables I had into Hex, and then I can't remember, we were probably sitting in like 2 to 3 cents range, and we ran up 12, 14 cents. And I remember we actually had just finished a Nights of Crypto stream, and I think it was me, Dollar Cost Crypto, and Wave 3 TV in the green room still, and we were talking, and Richard sent that tweet out. And we're like, do we go live again? And we're like, yeah, let's go live. So we immediately went live because that news was that important. And to me, it's a no-brainer. When you know where Hex is going, you should always be buying, especially during these dips. Even though it's hard to buy during a dip, you have to change that mentality in your brain. When you have an opportunity, you have to seize it. And when you have something as major as Pulse Chain launching, essentially our own ecosystem, our own network, like to me, it's a no-brainer to essentially purchase more of the premier asset because you're getting a copy of it on the new chain.
Yeah, like one whale of our German community once mentioned to me, you should buy when it hurts.
Yes. Yeah, you have to train your brain to flip it, right? Because none of us want to buy when our asset is down 60, 70, 80%. It's hard.
And emotional decisions always are worst when it comes to financials. Emotional decisions are like the worst when it comes to finance.
And I can be a very emotional person, so I get it. So eventually you just have to think logically, and it just goes with knowing what you hold. Once you know what you hold, you see the dips as opportunities, and a lot of people will sit there and cry on Twitter, Telegram, but at the end of the day, it's just like you have to understand. It's like if you know our long-term path and where we're going, it's a no-brainer. And
your question, David, Motley already covered that a bit by saying you just would end up, or if the past continues, if it just repeats again, then you will end up with more volume what you can sacrifice when you just buy Hex right now. Because if the Hex price rises from the point you buy, and then the sacrifice phase starts, you know, if you now have like $1,000 and you wanted to sacrifice those $1,000, you could also buy HEX. Maybe it does the same thing that in the past, and then you end up with a total volume of $1,500 maybe when the sacrifice phase starts.
I mean, I bought the dip at I snagged the dip at 13 cents, and I've almost doubled my money from there. So now I have 2x the buying power if I want to sacrifice a percentage of that to PulseX.
Yep, that's the point I want to bring across.
If I want to allocate some of that to Pulse when we launch, I can do that now, and I've just increased my buying power by almost 2x just by simply buying during the dip.
Yes.
And once you gauge your mindset to that, it's just the winning strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So here on our channel, of course, we'll talk a lot about HEX. So why don't we change it up to Pulse Chain a little bit? Because Pulse Chain is really coming soon, right? In a couple more weeks, I guess 4 more weeks, we'll have it.
Yeah, 4 more weeks.
Molly,
Of course,
what makes you so excited about Pulse Chain?
Me personally, it's never been done before. It's a whole new concept that hasn't been applied. Ethereum has been forked before, but no one's ever brought the system state over. No one's ever brought all these coins over. And I've gone back and forth with a lot of community members, friends, and gone from bearish to bullish. But at the end of the day, it's never been done before, so we don't know what's going to happen. But I mean, you're bringing the entire system state of Ethereum over. The fees are cheaper. And then you're doing this whole LP farming. You could create parity very early on. Richard's very smart, and I believe if I had to guess, he's probably going to give you the best LP rewards for, let's say, providing liquidity for the HEX pair. So a lot of people think HEX and then EHEX, which will be HEX on Ethereum once Pulse Chain goes live, is going to blow past EHEX. But in my personal opinion, I think Richard is going to probably create the highest rewards of LP tokens for the providing liquidity for both HEX. And I think even if they don't reach parity, I think they'll be close, and it'll move lockstep going up. So I think Pulse, just naturally, because the ecosystem is better than the current state of Ethereum, I think HEX, which will be the new premier asset on Pulse Chain, will run up a little bit faster, but I think EHEX will be kind of lockstep behind it. So I think more or less they will reach that parity a little bit sooner than most people believe.
Yeah, and we still have HEX whales on the Ethereum chain who did not sacrifice, for example. So they did not made their political statement. So maybe they will take care of expensive HEX on the East.
I mean, it's pretty simple, right? We know the God Whale is one of the largest Ethereum holders, a huge fan of HEX. You think he's one of the largest holders of HEX? You think he's just going to let his Ethereum bag of HEX die off? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. So just think about that if you want to try to do the trader game and get rid of all of your HEX on the Ethereum chain, your EHEX. There's probably other players, bigger fish in the sea, that have other thoughts. So be careful with that. Don't play the trader game. That's not what we got in.
Yeah, and when you got wrecked in a trader app, then maybe you check out Staker app. It's way better.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
So I just heard it knocking on the door. Who could that be? Well, we have a little meetup here today.
That was no knocking on the door, but
I didn't hear it. No.
no problem, no problem. Maybe.
We have a little meetup here in our Airbnb today, and I'm expecting our guests really, really soon. So we'll definitely stream a little bit longer, have a couple more questions, and then in 20-30 minutes, then we will be off. I just want to say, hey guys, if you have questions for Motley or for HEX Line, of course, just ask them into the chat and we can discuss that with you guys here. So I have a question from Jerry. What do you think Vitalik Buterin will do with his PETH?
his what, $30 of he won't have PETH, right? All his Ethereum, he'll get a 1-to-1 ratio of Pulse. So he'll actually have Pulse for all of his Ethereum. And it's going to be, even with all the Ethereum that he has, he's going to be so diluted. You're looking at $30 to $300 of Ethereum that he's going to get out of that, or of Pulse. So it'll be next to nothing.
And all his other tokens, we talked about Pulse Chain, right? What I like about Pulse Chain the most is Richard does not ask anybody if they would like to migrate to Pulse Chain. He just does it and makes it in a way that everybody has to participate, because all the liquidity that people are providing will be copied over to the Pulse Chain.
Yeah, I mean, free money
right?
is waiting for you on the Pulse Chain if you are already having a ERC20 token in your wallet.
It goes back to just never being done, right? No time in history have you ever been given the other side of liquidity for free. So you can come over and farm, and usually you have to split your asset, and you have to provide, if you guys don't know, you have to provide 50% on either side of the pool. You now have that for free. So if you have the Ethereum asset, come over to Pulse Chain, you have it waiting there for you. Start farming, and then that's going to help create parity. You get LP rewards, you get liquidity providing fees. Like, it's just a money generating machine. Why would you not, especially with Ethereum's current state and gas
And also,
fees?
like, in addition to that, you might don't be in the risk of impermanent loss, because you can provide liquidity in your coin, and if the prices reach like parity, that you have like just one price of the same coin on the Ethereum chain and one price of on the Pulse chain, but those prices are just like prices between exchanges, so within a 1% range, so to speak. So you don't have a problem with impermanent loss in the liquidity providing.
And another thing I like about what Richard is doing, and you and I discussed this before on stream, I think it was Cabanas, but you and I were kind of arguing back and forth on which hex is going to be called hex and which one's going to be e-hex.
The prefix code.
And you were right? And I disagreed at the time. I thought hex would stay hex on Ethereum. It just made sense, and then you would have like p-hex. But what Richard did and what you initially said, and it makes sense now, is not only hex is going to be it's going to be called hex on Pulse Chain, but all the ERC20 tokens that are now becoming PRC20 tokens, they're going to retain their actual name on the Pulse chain. And now Richard's going to prefix all the ERC20s with an E.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't understand the psychology there, he's literally put it in people's minds. So it's just like, hey, Pulse chain is now the premier chain. All your assets on Ethereum, that's like the second class asset now. Like, you have an E version of Link, or you have an E version of Aave, where the real asset is actually over here on Pulse Chain. So it's just even that simple psychology of giving all the ERC20s a prefix of E, and then everything is actually named by their current name on Pulse Chain. It's very cool. Again, it goes to Richard's not only smart when it comes to code and crypto in general, but that's his marketing side, his business brain, that makes him so dangerous in the space.
So I have another question here from Jerry. Will HEX on the Pulse chain have smaller circulation supply, and how will that affect the price if they get price parity? So there are a couple of things here in the question, and I just guess he is asking, how will the different parameter of those different HEX that we will have in the future be different, right? So a lot of people are in the Ethereum chain right now. The gas fees are ridiculous. So my suggestion would be going over to the Pulse chain. This is what we want to do. We want to help Ethereum with the fees. And this will then lead to people using HEX in different ways, right? Would you do really, really long stakes on Ethereum right now? Probably not. But later on Pulse chain, we will. All I'm saying is the people will behave differently. HEX Lion, what do you think? What will happen to the different parameters on our different HEX that we will have?
So I think we will have a bigger T-share pool on the Pulse chain. I think we will also have more ever minted HEX on the Pulse chain side. That's why I think we might have kind of the same daily payout per T-share on the Pulse chain side, and the share rate will go over. So like in the course of 1 year, I guess that the share rate on the Ethereum chain is higher than on the Pulse chain.
The share rate is higher. How would that change how would that change from like now?
It would change because I expect a bigger T-share pool on the Pulse chain side. So the daily buy, the daily pie gets splitted up into more addresses. So people on the Ethereum chain still accrue more interest. And if they end stake, the share rate just needs to be even higher than on the Pulse chain side.
So the share rate will jump higher on the...
jump, I don't know.
No, not jump, but
It'll be
user
much more
behavior.
gradual. I think it'll be gradual, but yeah, there will be a slight change for
and
sure.
this is because people are staking short-term more, but also people will stake long-term more on the Pulse chain, I believe.
Yeah,
the
that's
short-term makes sense because now you can stake $10 even for 2 days.
And that's why I'm thinking we will have a bigger pool of total T-shares on the Pulse chain than on the ETH chain.
And then people are also saying that people will only stake long on the Ethereum hex, right? But I think the Pulse hex, no, hex on the Pulse chain will be even staked out longer because as longer you stake, as more fees you have to pay to end stake, right? And this is just not as
and when it comes to 5555 staking on the Pulse chain, as both Richards are, as both projects are founded by Richard, there shouldn't be any technical issues for end staking a 5555 stake.
Yeah, hopefully, knock on wood. I mean, we might have forks of Pulse chain down the road too, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, blockchains do fill up, so who knows what the years hold for us down the road. But Hexicans are wealthy, creative, smart, and we'll build the solutions as they come. We won't just leave the users out in the cold like it seems like the Ethereum Foundation.
So the Bank of America smart chain will be a fork of Pulse?
All right, so we do not have any more questions here in the chat. Patrick, do you have a question for Motley maybe? Because I already asked all my questions so far.
What question? What are your plans to promote Hex for next year?
That's a good question. Right now, I'm just trying to get settled personally so I can even like stream. Right now, I moved back to Florida, so I'm currently staying with my parents, and they live out in the boondocks, and I don't even have good internet connection. So right now, I'm just trying to figure out internet connection so I could do this, so I can continue to stream and promote Hex that way. But for me, permanently, over the next year, it's just figuring out where I'm going to put some permanent roots down. Whether I decide to live in Florida, I've looked at getting citizenship outside the country. I've looked at renouncing. So I'm looking at just different avenues. I've generated the wealth now, so I'm looking to protect it. And then I can essentially apply it the most efficient way possible once I set the proper parameters to protect that wealth.
I mean, okay, you're sure with Florida, because otherwise you could just got like a car, wrap this car, and then we would drive through the southern states of the country in the next year. So you could have had it look like at several cities.
It's funny. I enjoy cars, but like to me, they're like one of the worst depreciating assets. So it's very hard for me. True. Like I have like my Ford Fusion hybrid right now. It's paid off, and like I have no desire to. I'd love to have a Lambo or Ferrari, but to me, I don't want to burn assets that are.
We can rent it for you.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Is like, why not finance it? And that's what I do for a lot of my stuff is financing it, use credit, stuff like that, because you don't want to give up the golden goose. So for me, over the next year is just essentially finding a permanent place of operation and then go from there. But I mean, me and some friends started a company, Legion VC. So like we're doing stuff there. We're building. We're not going to wait for other projects to come on the Pulse chain. We're going to help build the Pulse chain by building our own stuff. So like,
great.
I've started to learn what goes into building a cryptocurrency project. Like, turns out it's really hard working with the dev team, and like I'm not code based at all. So a lot of the lingo goes through my head. I've had to bring in people like Dev Kyle to try to speak layman terms for me and help out. But it's interesting. But at the end of the day, I've always been kind of one of those people that don't wait for others to do it. Go out there and build it yourself. So that's what I'm working on over the next year or so.
Sounds great. So you're a busy OG like everybody
exactly.
else.
It become busier after retirement. It's ironic.
Yeah, it's really ironic.
But it's fun, right? It's what we're passionate about. It's what we love to do. So it's not, again, it's kind of like the saying where, if you're passionate about it, you're never going to work another day in your life because you love to.
This is also one question from the chat. Hextarian is saying, Motley, enjoying retirement?
Yeah, I love it. Again, retirement
which leads to a new full-time job.
Retirement is just working for Hex and the Hex community now, and soon to be Pulse Chain community once it comes into existence.
Well, what I experienced so far when it comes to retirement, in retirement you just work more and more and more once you are in Hex, right? But you love to do it. But you love to do it, exactly. Yeah. This is the difference now.
Yeah.
So another question for Patrick. Jerry is asking, my friend bought 1000k Hex token. He is wondering if he should wait until after Pulse Chain launch before creating a stake, or do it now?
Tell me the number again. Did you say as 1000k or 100,000 Hex?
100k Hex tokens.
So 100,000 Hex. That should work already. He just needs to learn a little bit about how the fee structure of Ethereum works, go like weekends, and if he stakes like for another weekend in 5 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks with a total bag of 100,000 Hex, that would be already beneficial compared to the start and the end stake fee.
And there's so many factors, right? It's completely, again, it's unique to the individual. Did they sacrifice for Pulse Chain? Did they miss out on that? Do they want to leave a little bit liquid so they can maybe trade their new copy of Hex over for some Pulse Chain?
Yeah, but still, like we have 4.
Party foul.
Yeah, we have 4 more weeks before the Pulse Chain starts. Avid told us today. So just a joke, guys. So this 4 more weeks. This was like Richard saying before the Hex launch, and he started with that in March 2019. Hex started in December 2019.
The beautiful thing about doing your stakes now is they're copied over as stakes. You don't have to stake them individually. You stake it once, and it'll be copied over on the Pulse Chain as a stake. So,
and if you want to have your flexibility, you can, with 100,000 hex, you can also create a short-term stake, which should be learn about fees first.
I was about to say, maybe that short-term stake is even worth it. I mean, honestly, it might be better if you're saving that allocation for Pulse. It might, as much as it sucks not to use the staking feature, it just might not be worth it with the Ethereum fees. They're just that outrageous at this point.
Oh, so Kareem is talking to us while we are streaming. Do you want to come on? You want to come on stream as well? Super Hex. Super Hex is in the chat as well. Hi, Super Hex. What's up? He is saying.
Hi,
so
Super Hex. Shout out to you.
You coming to Miami, bro?
Yeah. Are you coming to Miami, Super Hex?
So just shoot us a message. Super Hex, that would be awesome if you are coming. If you could reply.
Come on the yacht, bro.
Somebody here in the chat said. Whenever you get 2 for 1 in crypto, it's a scam. And people do not understand there is free money in crypto to be made. You just have to know the information, right? The fork of Pulse Chain is so special because you said it before, it's a full systems state fork, right? All the informations on the Ethereum blockchain will be copied over to the Pulse Chain blockchain. Motley, maybe you can explain to this guy, what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's never been done before, but you are getting a free copy of your coins on this new ecosystem. And again, I think there's going to be value in both Hex. So you hold Hex now. I see it as a stock split, right? Like you might have the value go down across both temporarily, but you have 2 of those assets now. And over time, they're just, again, it's going to be the premier asset on that chain. Any of your other ERC20 tokens you hold, you're going to get a copy over it. So why not? You have the other side of the LP farming. Go over there, LP farm. You're gonna essentially, you have the chance to have no impermanent loss, get LP tokens, get fees. To me, it's a money making machine. If you have enough knowledge in the game and you know what you hold and what's coming down the pipeline. And most Hexicans that have been here long enough, they know there's going to be a lot of wealth generation coming over the next couple of months. It's going to be a fun ride. Okay,
Modley, thank you so much for your time, for helping us, for supporting us, for being here with us for 1 week. I just have one last thing to say. Super Hex was really, really interesting coming to Miami. And this is why, Kaylin, you need to come here really, really quick and take Modley's...
Yeah, let's do that on stream.
Modley's space again, because the people are... the people are asking about the yacht. Did you already tell Super Hex about the yacht? Did you say everything?
I will message you, Super Hex.
Maybe you can inform our viewers and our Super Hex right now on the stream. What kind of yacht do we have? What is the yacht thing, and what is it all about?
It's golden, of course.
What else do they want to know? We have a yacht. We have 13 people that will be on that yacht right now. 11 spots are filled. Contact me directly and I'll give you the exact information about your contribution and what it needs to be in order to get your spot on the yacht.
What's your Twitter handle again?
Black Hexican, BLAKC Hexican.
And on Telegram it is at Let's Talk About Hex.
You guys see this Hex birthday party and also the round table with the yacht. It's gonna be amazing. If you want to be part of that, just shoot us a message on Telegram. You should be in our Telegram chat anyways, right? And then make this happen. We would love to have you. I want to thank everybody being here in the chat and supporting us so much. It really helps pumping all our bags. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Also hit the bell. Motley, thank you so much for being here and supporting us. Anything else from your side, Hex?
No, anything would you want to ask us? That what we missed?
Oh yeah, good question.
I'm just excited for the workshop tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Right?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of the days anymore, but yeah, I'm excited to see.
We do a lot of them. I know.
I'm excited to see the workshop tomorrow for the first time in person. Again, like just in the London event, these kinds of things are completely different when you see them in person. So I'm excited to see that, help out where I can, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I've enjoyed my time with you guys so far, and thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here with us. It's always a pleasure to spend the time with the Hex OGs.
Yeah.
And also for you out there, I hope you enjoyed the live stream today. Don't forget to show us some love and hit the like button. I still need to get better in this. We are so bad when it comes to YouTube influencers.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Other people can do that so much better than us. So I just say thank you for watching and all the best for everybody out there.
Awesome.
See you soon. Bye.
Later, guys. Peace.
Bye-bye.